Running is what I am.
I love going up in the mountains and getting to the highest spot and seeing all the vistas.
The freedom it gives me, the movement, the feeling that I can do this with my body.
I enjoy running for the challenge.
We spend a lot of time being injured, and so if there is something that can point out deficiencies of my form, then I want to know now. I don't want to know when I'm hurt.
Some studies will indicate up to 80% of all people that take running seriously will suffer some type of injury during the 1-year period in which they need to take an extended period of rest and or seek medical care.
I've done several ultra marathons, and I'm hoping to get another 50-miler in this year. The most important things that it would be used for as a runner would be, am I running the most efficiently way that I possibly can? And am I running in a way that's gonna keep me from getting hurt? If your hips are tight, your lower back hurts, you can't run, and I know that because the end of my year last year, that's what happened to me, and I wasn't able to put in the miles and achieve the goal that I wanted to do.
The big thing that I'm really noticing here is your hip mobility. So that's how much you're getting hip extension from the hip joint itself rather than tilting your pelvis forward. And this is a big factor in low back pain. So what we see a lot of times is, again, if you're not getting good hip mobility, then you're arching the low back to get that leg back behind you.
I had some issues with back pain that was primarily caused by lack of hip mobility, essentially. It's really cool that this app is showing the exact same thing. I feel like this is fairly useful, actually, in terms of after you go on a training run, you can come back and break it down, and even if you feel good, there may be some underlying issues that you're not feeling yet.
I've won some national championships, and I am 74. I am working on improving my half marathon, going towards the Worlds in Sweden in August.
This backwards part here, that's your braking, so that's if you're overstriding, you're landing in front of your center of mass. That creates a backwards force here. And so we can watch how that changes over the course of the run. So especially right around in here, we're starting to get more of that backwards force, the braking. And it gets really big here. As we increase the speed, we're seeing more braking, and more braking, more braking, and even more. So you're taking longer and longer and longer strides as you run faster because you're keeping the same cadence.
I was a little bit surprised about the braking. It's not so good to be braking. I need to be landing more underneath my center of gravity instead of striding out.
I enjoy half marathons. I was very happy with my running, my ability, my stamina, and it kind of broke down. I started having aches and pains and injuries that kept getting worse to the point where I ended up stopping running. So my goals would be to get back to where I was.
So we're seeing your force portrait here at the end of the run. We ran you at different speeds, so starting really slow, and then we can see you're going faster and faster and faster and faster until we got to your top speed. Especially at the slower speeds, you can see there's some asymmetry here, and we really pick that up when we look at the lateral symmetry. So that's coming in about 84, which isn't too bad, but we'd like to see that a little bit better. Especially at that first slow pace, that's where we see the biggest difference. So we can see the right side and the left side, and you can see that the left side is going further out to the side.
Definitely need to work on my side glutes. I know they've always been not the strongest, but this really does show me I need to put a little extra effort into that area.
Over the last 20 years, I've been involved in intermittent gait evaluations. But the challenge is that it's done on a treadmill, and that doesn't reflect the ecology of what most runners experience. We wanted to develop a technique where people could run outside and we could gather this force portrait.
We've taken all the 3D capture, all the in-depth biomechanical analysis, the voices of all the experts, and stuff that into a little sensor that is attached to your sacrum. The user will actually have something that'll say, you know, you might need to work on your hip extension, and here are some exercises to address that. You essentially have your own physical therapist in your little accelerometer.
We're hoping with our unique technology is that the younger generation will not experience anywhere near the number of musculoskeletal injuries and the prevalence of these injuries that we're seeing currently.
So the idea of having this guardian of this little sensor that's looking after me, making sure that I'm not going injured, and is allowing me to do what I really like doing, is a wonderful gift. And it's a wonderful gift that I can actually work on this thing to give that gift to other runners as well.